Good evening, everybody. So we have breaking news coming out of the Marlins, and this is a pretty big news to discuss here tonight. Many of you guys are aware of this by now. If you heard from me, it is probably true. The Miami Marlins have hired Peter Bendix as president of baseball operations for the Miami Marlins. And he is replacing someone like Kim Yang. As it may know from a few weeks ago in October, Kim Yang declined the offer to continue her general managing career with the Miami Marlins due to somewhat disagreements with Bruce Sherman, and they're looking for a president of baseball operations. So she elected to leave the Marlins, and as we were fearing that other players such as coaches and Jorge Soler was going to decline contract opt-in. So Jorge Soler is gone, probably because of it, because she was one of the reasons that Soler came, because she had them come in and sign a pretty cool, very good deal for Marlins standards. So that is a tough loss. But for this one, this is a really good hire. It's a great get. It's a really good get because Peter Bendix definitely has the tools and the mindset to make a great team consistently. So, looking at his career, he attended Tufts University, which is a private school. I've actually seen their basketball team play about 5 years ago in a different channel. They lost that game. So in 2009 he joined the Rays, and this is Tampa Bay Rays. That's where he came from, the Tampa Bay Rays, another Florida team. He joined the Rays as an intern in 2009, which is a year after the Rays made it to their World Series for the first time in their franchise history, and losing that World Series. So he was for that point he was an intern, and since his time with the Rays from 2009, during that time span, the Rays have made the playoffs. I would say about 6 out of 10 or 13 years he's been there. So like 2009 is when he started. Since then, the Rays have won the AL East division, which pretty much means they automatically made the playoffs, and they won the division in that year in 2010, and then so that's one playoff appearance. Then then they made it in 2011. That's the year after. They didn't make any playoffs in 2012. So 2 playoff appearances under Bendix when he was around as an intern. Then 2013 they made it again, right? And they lost against the Red Sox. It wasn't, so there was a little bit of dark years. You know, the stadium was kind of whack, and the team was not producing anything. It wasn't until 2009 where they finally broke the playoff playoff drought, and then they make it. And since then, the Rays have been very, very consistent. And this is when, in the year 2019, this was when the Rays promoted Bendix as vice president of the Rays in 2019. So he was allowed to make charges for the general manager, what the advice is, and what players to sign. So yeah, so since he has been promoted vice president in 2019, they made the playoffs then. They made the playoffs in 2020, which I think that's the year they won the division. Yes, they did. They won a division. And that year, they end up making it to the World Series, so they won the pennant that year against, I believe it was the Astros. So there was a scary time for them. 2020 was that time where his title was Vice President of Baseball Development, and he was named General Manager a year after in 2021. And even under Bendix has his role as in the front office. The Rays were a great team. Nobody wanted to face them. So AL East division, they won the pennant in the same year, and before the 2021 season ended, they again won the 2021 AL East division. So that is a great That was a good season for the Rays. I think the Marlins only beat them once in that season, but still, the Rays were a great team. They were a great team. They were. And then in 2022, this is when Bendix became general manager. They made the playoffs again. I think it was, who won the AL East division in 2022? I think it was the Yankees. I forgot. I think it was the Yankees. And then in 2023, this past year, they had one of the best starts in baseball history since 1930s. And yeah, so under Bendix, they have made the playoffs roughly about, I do apologize, roughly about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. 8 times under Bendix. So that is the resume of Peter Bendix under the Rays management. And with that, it was succeeding Eric Neander, who had been promoted to the president of baseball operations. So that was a great time for them. Then today, it was all leads to today. November 5th, 2023, Bendix told the Rays that they were going to leave Tampa Bay and then decide to take a role as president of baseball operations for the Miami Marlins. And if you ask me, as much as I loved Kim Yang, this was a good hire. This was a really good hire. He knows how to. And this is the title by 2020. His title was Vice President of Baseball Development. That's the key word, development. He can develop baseball players from the academies down below, and he can help develop that in Dominican Republic because Marlins do have an academy in Dominican Republic. And then they already have a really good farm system. And then with this in mind, Bendix knows how to win baseball. He has done it so many times on the Tampa Bay Rays. Sure, there was 1 year where they were really close, but then they ran into the Dodgers. So my point here is he can get it done, and he decided to stay local in the state of Florida, but move across the state into the south to Miami. So Bruce Sherman, this was a pretty good hire. I will say this. That's just my personal opinion. This was a good hire because now we know, and he's only about 30. I want to say 38 years old. He's a young baseball operator. He's young, and he has a fresh mindset. That's huge. That's really huge. So, with that being said, Marlins hired Peter Bendix. I say it's a good hire. Let's see what happens in free agency. I hope they somehow figure this out. And I think when I think this was the day before when Bendix was coming in, somebody decided to stay in. I think this was the day before, so I don't know what I'm saying. But Josh Bell decides to opt in. That's huge. That's huge for the Marlins. We still have good bats. We still have a home run hitter. I think Jay Burger is still around, so that's great. And yeah, folks, what a good hire. So that is the Marlins breaking news for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button, subscribe more content because Miami TVG has your back, and when he does, he'll be right there with the fair entertainment you deserve. This is Miami TVG signing up, folks. Good night, everybody.